I'm not smart. I don't know what I'm going to do as of yet, and this is all ongoing, so we shall see what happens. I'll give you the whole story, but the juicy parts come towards the end, so I apologize for any boredom in between. I think it's best I give the whole story. Basically, I met my fiancé 10 years ago now. She was from another city about an hour away where all her old life and family are. And we have had what I thought was a good relationship, but it has also been a complete battle all the way along. These things like problems with me going out, seeing friends, any female friends I ever had, or any I ever came into contact with, were instantly warned off. I always trusted her, so I never understood where this came from. It was about 1 year into our relationship. We weren't living together at that point. And text on her phone one night from one of her friends telling her how he wanted her. All the nasty details. Her sent texts were never saved, so I have no clue, but I figured she was cheating. Police confronted her, and she completely assured me everything was okay with us and that he sent messages out of the blue. She admitted she went out one night and saw him, and he kissed her, but she says she never kissed him back. I completely trusted her and let it all go. She moved to my city, and we moved in together not long after that, buying our own apartment. A couple of years later, we had a party and 3 of her female friends came and 2 of my male friends from down south were up. The night seemed to go fine. Guys and girls mixed well, and we had a good night. About a week later, I spoke to one of my friends catching up, and he told me that one of her friends confided in him and said my girlfriend was cheating on me. He confronted my girlfriend at the time, and she said it was because her friend liked me and was looking to get with me, which was believable at the time as I was good looking, had money, and amazing job, and the perfect lifestyle. So I thought she was just trying to mess with us. My girlfriend fell out with her friend, and that has been that way ever since. She's basically a cabin crew member in her career, something I actually was behind her getting into. Later, she seemed to be texting her friends quite a lot, like all the time. I never worried about this, as I'm pretty laid back. She would then get texts through, and I used to text my friends, but when hers were coming in at 2 a.m. in the morning when we were in bed, I started to get a bit curious. Just a month or 2 later, she decided she wanted to split up, and by that time, I thought I wanted my freedom back anyway, so I moved back in with my mom while she had the apartment. We jointly owned. I was happy having my life back, but kind of lonely at the same time. We split up for 4 months. I now know she split up with me to start a full-on relationship with this other guy who was supposedly her best male friend. Note, she told me she hadn't been with anyone else during that time, and it wouldn't have bothered me if she was. But I also know she was with another of his friends as well, maybe why it didn't work between them. These Epley emails that get left behind and forgotten about are a wonderful thing. While we were split up, we saw each other every few weeks and would end up bonding. Our time has always been amazing between us. She would have guys phoning and have conversations in front of me while I was round with her, but it didn't bother me at all. I was having fun as well with other girls, as I was single. Anyway, I was out with friends one night in a nightclub, and I was due to be set up with a girl I'd really liked for a very long time. Although nothing ever happened there, the next thing I know, I look over, and my fiancé was there with her new boyfriend standing right in front of me. Next, I looked over my shoulder, and there was my ex, who was kind of drunk and out with her mom to see her. And my first reaction was to be pleasant, but I wanted to get out of there. She followed me outside, started coming on to me, pinned me up against a fence when I was trying to get away, and wouldn't let me go. The only way I was going to get away from her that night was to assault her, and I don't hit girls, so we shared a taxi. And I got her home safely. I still cared about her. She told me she wanted me back and had thought about suicide as she was so lonely without me. I still had feelings for her and said we would talk about it more when sober, and I left. We started talking properly again, like when we first went out. It was fun, and we decided to give it another go. Things were great for about 3 to 4 months, and then she ended up pregnant. Right after this, I found a diary of conception dates and dates we had fun, etc. I was angry at this, as she basically got pregnant just to keep me or have a hold over me. I told her I wanted her to have a termination as we just weren't in the right place, and the situation of having a baby for the sake of it wasn't right. I wanted to be married, settled, and do things properly. I also wasn't ready to stop going out and have our lifestyle change. But to give you an idea, we would go out most nights, have meals, go to the cinema, always doing something. Anyway, she told me she was having my baby whether I liked it or not, and that was that. If I chose to walk away, I would never see my child, so I stayed. The diary seemed to disappear into thin air too. During her pregnancy, I was always there but felt angry and disconnected. But I loved the idea of having a wee one right after I got my head around it all. One night while I was out with friends, I met a girl who I just talked to but never did anything with her. We just swapped Facebooks and left it at that. And from that day, I never spoke to her again until later. Girlfriend had the wee one, and I was right there, and all was great. I absolutely love my child to bits, and she is my life. A few months went by, and we seemed to disconnect again. I would stay in looking after the wee one while she went out with her friends a lot. At Palatins, I started speaking to the girl I met, but only online. It seemed fun. It was good just talking to someone as I wasn't getting to do anything. We weren't talking a lot, probably once a week, but as time went on, roughly 8 to 10 weeks, we would be flirty, have longer conversations. It started talking about physical things. Then she started emailing. I decided I was doing something completely wrong and stopped talking to her completely, blocked her on Facebook, and never have spoken to her since or been in contact in any way. It's in summer a while back. Girlfriend decided she wanted to get back to being slim and wanted a personal trainer before going back to work. She found one local who was male and started sessions with him. She was off work on maternity leave, and I would end up having the wee one. Please note, it was me paying for the personal trainer. At Pants, I later found out she was bumping into him out when she was on nights out, but was never really told anything. An event came up where he was involved, and I ended up getting dragged along to it. She was constantly following him about all night that night. We were meant to go out after the event, but his fiancée fell out with him, and I later found out she accused him of cheating. He was accused of cheating with my girlfriend. I didn't have a clue what to think, but she assured me nothing ever happened. I never saw them again. He was still training her, and all of a sudden she found emails on his Hotmail account and went through the roof. He got called a cheater. She told everyone he was having an affair. He knows he was doing something wrong and it could come across as cheating, but he accepts that. He wouldn't have called it an affair. He knew he was doing something wrong and chose his girlfriend and child and wanted to be the best dad he could be. He was always there for the wee one and would do far more than his fair share as well as work. She fell pregnant again not long after this came out, had a termination without telling him, and it's only when he found something out from the hospital that she admitted it. She ended the personal trainer sessions due to a problem with him using gyms, and she joined a proper gym. She put them straight into relationships counseling as well, where he told absolutely everything about their relationship to the counselor. They probably did this for 3 months, and the counselor seemed to agree with him almost 90 of the time, and found that his girlfriend had mega issues stemming from a split-up childhood, etc. His girlfriend decided no more counseling as she didn't like what was happening. She wasn't in control. He guesses. Lexic sections anyway, his girlfriend went back to worked away for about a week at a time, probably 1 week away, 4 to 5 days home while he worked, stayed at home and looked after their wee one. Just when she was away, they would speak on the phone every night, and the majority of it would end up arguing. She would come home and the first moment through the door was a continuation of the argument with no cuddles, kisses, or anything. He doesn't even know what any of the arguing was about. These things seem to get good, then go bad over and over. Things changed in the relationship. They hardly did anything together themselves, although they did try and make time together as much as possible. Looks they were both in bed, they would sit and watch TV together. They were still having fun, actually being friendly and trying to deal with his affair, so to speak. He was given what he can only describe as beyond hell for it. Actually, anyway, after about 18 months, 8 to 9 months ago, she finally changed jobs and based herself in their city. Things got a lot better, and he really has tried. She still goes away, 2 nights away here and there. But things seemed absolutely fine between them, and he had a D-Day in December to get engaged to her. The relationship wasn't brilliant, but he chose her, and although he didn't believe it was best going forward, he got her a temporary ring with a view to buying her a really expensive one later, and they got engaged. By this point, they were looking to buy a house. Well, June happened. Everything was going so well, but she had to go away for a week for training to her old home city. She told him she never went out, but he found out later that she went out with her best female friend, and things just seemed to get strange. She came home and had a night out with some of her friends, and he got a picture sent through to his phone of her. Here are 2 pictures for you, but there was only one. At the 3rd week into June, it was a family weekend, so he was at home and walked upstairs one day and found her taking pictures of herself in lingerie. She gave the excuse that she was happy with her body after going to the gym a lot, had a new personal trainer but female this time, and wanted to take some pictures. She then went on a night out with her best friend, an old hometown friend, on a Friday night, and I was working the next morning. She said she would be back early but never turned up. Her mom was away and she was staying alone at the house. I phoned both the landline and her mobile, but got no reply. I was really worried, going out of my mind. She was supposed to be home at 9 to 10 a.m. to get our wee one. I never heard anything, canceled work, and took my wee one out for the day. We had a lot of fun. Emse called me up at around 3 p.m., saying she was still drunk and had to drop her best friend off in town and would be back not long after that. She finally got home around 6-7 p.m. At the end of June, we were going to an event in her hometown, but the night before she went out with one of her friends, who is supposedly my friend too. She got really drunk, thought I was asleep, and proceeded to drunkenly text and mistakenly call while laying right next to me. I saw something about a physical thing in the text message, but pretended to sleep. Next thing she was up, running to the toilet, being sick, and then fell asleep on the couch downstairs while her mobile was with me upstairs. Well, I went through everything, texts, emails, Facebook. It turned out she had fun with the guy and was chilling with him all day long when she should have been back home for our daughter. Also, she had been texting a pilot, swapping pictures, etc. Her Facebook says she is single for all her hometown friends to see. Sick work friends, privacy settings, found loads of texts from around 6-7 guys saying she is single and up for it, etc. He says I got in contact with the guy she slept with, but he had slept with so many people he didn't have a clue. I found out she had told him she was single. The pilot thinks she is single too, from the texts she sent, as I'm the ex. I confronted her about the hometown night, and she told me I was being an idiot and she would never cheat. He swore on our daughter's life in front of her mom, etc. We went upstairs to bed and I told her I had seen her messaging him. She finally admitted it but said she wanted to be with me and didn't know why it happened. Said she would never speak to the pilot via text again. That a few weeks went by until last week, where the pilot added her on Facebook. I was actually on my own Facebook at the time and thought I was seeing things. 2 seconds later, it had disappeared, but he was now her friend. I phoned her up and she said she had no clue what I was talking about. I got home from work that night and she was on her Facebook, and I leaned in for a kiss and to see what she was doing, and she closed the computer. I asked her to show me her Facebook messages, to which I got told no way, they are private. I asked to do the phone swap test, and she failed that too. She then came up to bed and told me she was going to her mom's for a night during the week, but would take the wee one as she hadn't seen her mom. I was like, okay. I went on her Facebook and found she had arranged to meet the pilot, pay for a hotel herself as he had no money, all the while saying we were giving our relationship one last proper go. Next morning, she changed her mind, but I found out he couldn't make it as something came up. I kept quiet and said, please don't lie to me anymore. Do you really want to be with me? Are we properly in this together? She says yes. Why would you question that? I mentioned seeing her paying for the hotel, but I told her I looked at her phone. This past weekend, we spent the weekend together properly, and her family had our daughter until Tuesday. It was great. All seemed to go perfectly. So much so, I took her and bought her a proper engagement ring. She told me she wants to spend her life with me, won't do anything ever again, and we talked about getting married. We were about to bond on Monday morning when she got called out for a night stop. I think, right, we might finally get somewhere, and this is the last chance after all. I'm happy. If you reading this, you won't understand how convincing her lies are. But I'm not going to be fooled anymore. Tuesday, I can't get a hold of her as her phone is broken, but I know what time she lands, 1 to 2 p.m. at the latest. And I phoned her mom, who hadn't heard from her. I phoned her mom at 3 p.m., who said she had been in touch at 2:15, and she was on her way to get our daughter. I eventually got a call at 5:30 p.m. saying she has just arrived at her mom's and is packing our daughter's stuff up. The hour's missing time. She gives me some made-up story about having coffee with one of the other cabin crew. She gets home Tuesday night, jumps straight on Hotmail and emails him. I go straight on and take copies of everything. Along the lines of, "We're great to see you today. That was unexpected fun." He emails her back, but he is clever and doesn't give much away. Then she emails him back Wednesday morning, saying stuff about dirty details. Yesterday, she got a replacement phone and is no longer emailing. I can't get near it now. It goes to the toilet, it goes upstairs, etc. Well, that's that, and I'm done. I've also found out she was sleeping with the trainer for messages on Facebook until he broke it off when she wouldn't leave me for him. Its dates also seem to suggest that the termination might have been his. Would I have been expected to raise a child that wasn't mine? I'm honestly the biggest idiot ever. I'm done. I'm going to just gather even more evidence. Believe me, I've absolutely everything so far. I've stuck around for our first ring so far, but I'm going to get legal advice. Not sure what I'm going to do. She's probably been chilling around every time she's gone out or every time she's been away with work. That's how she met the pilot anyway. Above doesn't make sense, but I found all info out in the last 8 weeks, and I'm finding more out all the time. I only found out about the trainer yesterday. I know the small one is mine, but I just can't turn my back on her. She dotes on me and she is my life now. I've raised her. I can give her the most amazing, both emotionally and financially stable life going. I have no issues of doing it all on my own. I'd like her to have one more birthday and Christmas as a family. She doesn't know I have access to everything. I'm tempted to completely screw with her now, keep on the emotional stuff, make her think everything is amazing, plan to get married, then blow the whole thing up. I gave up any social life I had when I found out she was pregnant. I've been nothing but a father ever since. She's my world. Not sure how I've been irresponsible. I only found out she truly cheated on me at the very end of June. I've tried to make it work since. I'm realizing now that she is enjoying the best of both worlds. I started questioning myself on Tuesday, and yesterday I thought she was fully committed. I have no evidence she has changed. No evidence she slept with Pilot yet, only potential plans for Tuesday, which could have been nothing. I'm totally broken and gutted. I love her so much, and it's like I've just woken up. I've always kept my money separate from the relationship, and she knew I would make her sign an agreement if we ever got married, so I'm not worried about that. The kid is definitely mine. She's away to see her best mate again and have a night out, so hopefully she'll meet Pilot that night and I might get some proof. But from what I gather, he knows nothing about me. He's in the same situation as I will be in, having split recently and having his own kid. I've not contacted him as I don't want to stop it. Now, if that is what she is going to do. BTS, I was checked about 4 months ago and have always been clear. Hypersexual to another one though. We're going to see a lawyer next week over the child and find out my options. Thanks for the advice. I'm going to do the 180, even though that's what I've sort of been doing. I'm not a loser. I'm a good guy, early 30s, work hard for what I have. I'm good looking, have a good body, and everyone likes me. I have no trouble with girls. I've just been absolutely screwed over by this one. I've got the ball rolling already with a lawyer. Using a company at the moment for a business issue, so I've emailed her, asking who she can put me through to in family law. I've discovered a few more things some friends knew about the trainer. One female friend actually started dating him, according to her ex, whom I've had a brief chat with. I can trust him, but I've only said I was looking to get in touch, and did he have contact details? He said he knew why and had heard rumors from his ex, but she can also lie, so he didn't want to say just in case. I hardly ever see his ex, although technically a friend from about 8-9 years back, and never accepted her friend request on Facebook. But I have now. Fiancé wasn't happy at all. Also found out he moved away. Knew that, but as luck would have it, the same friend above put a post up saying he was in town this weekend. I briefly mentioned it to Fiance, and she was straight on the laptop trying to find out how I knew. I never said exactly and have been called dodgy. I eventually said, and she got all shady, saying they had an issue. Well, no, it's because it's obviously all true. I knew that from the Facebook message they were having, but it could have been interpreted differently. I'm going to get my family to have her for a few hours and see if I can get invited to where he will be and have a chat. I'm not angry. I just want to record it and add it to the mountain of evidence I already have. I'll give you an update on this. I also got accused of sleeping with the girl above, else why would I add her? Play. Fiancée is away for a night out with her best friend in the hometown where Pilot lives. Has also asked me to have the wee one early, even though I'm working, so she can go down early and get ready properly. I put my daughter to bed tonight before she got home, so she's probably spent a whole 2 hours with her this week so far. I've spent all the time with her, apart from when she is in nursery and I go to the gym. Then she's a daddy's girl. Fiancé has sat on her phone all night from when she got in. I know she is texting him, although I have not seen it. The 180 has worked well. I've not got angry at all. Been my usual pleasant, smiley self. However, tonight she has also suggested she changes work shift for Monday to do a night stop instead of a week of doing flights. Flights were booked all week. She would have to go down to her hometown and be in the same situation as Monday and Tuesday. I just told her why she does it when she can be at home and see her family. She never gave a proper answer, just saying it's easier than her current shift pattern. She said if she does it, it's her choice and she has to do what she has to do, whatever that may be. I got told that I think she's doing something, etc. I just said no. I'm not judging if that's what she wants to do. I got left at that. I started texting my friends and it made her angry, and she was using Facebook. I don't usually do it a lot. I expect she will get up at night to have a look, so I'm going to password protect it. If she wants to see my phone or Facebook, she can, but I want to see hers. I'm a complete open book and have nothing whatsoever to hide. Her family is like my family, and they will be very angry. Her brother is like my own, and her mom will be horrified. The 180 rule says not to, so I'm not sure. I think that is my exit strategy. I run the risk of her mom confronting her, and she finds out I know everything and what I have on her, etc. I've added a lot of other family of hers and old friends we used to see to Facebook, so when the truth comes out, everyone is going to know. She's not going to be able to hide it as lies. You know, it's the lying that has hurt me the most. She stares me straight in the face, looks into my eyes and says something when I know for a fact it's not the truth. I knew she cheated in June. She said she never did. Lied. She said she stopped texting Pilot. I looked at her phone and saw every message. She was lying. She says everything I now know is the absolute truth, and there is nothing that can come back and hurt us. Lied. I also think our mutual friend who works at my gym is in a different category for the privacy relationship status, so I might see if she will look it up tomorrow. I have the pictures, just haven't had a chance to see who is in them. Gym girl likes me, but I know her well enough to know I wouldn't cheat like that. It might get rumors going anyway. I know from the 180 rule not to believe anything anymore and just expect the worst. I should really sneak over to the other side of the bed and grab her phone, but I'll hold off. You can't have another night getting worked up and not sleeping. I'll see if anything comes of it on Saturday or Monday, unless she gets up to go to the toilet. Oh, at the weekend, even though I knew about one physical guy and texting Pilot, I was wanting to make this work not only for me, but for the small one too. We've been happy together for years and years, but I know it's done now. I have been lying to myself. I just am not sure when I will do it now. You'll see all I have is picture swapping, which I confronted about back in June and got promised no more. They didn't speak for about 2 weeks. Then he added her on Facebook. They had Facebook chats. She has no clue. I can get into Facebook or email. So last week, all I confronted was the texting after I looked at her phone the night before she was planning to go see her mom and pay for the hotel, etc. We never really got anywhere with that chat. We knew we were together kid-free this past weekend, so we spent it together and it was amazing again. But from what I was told, she wasn't getting in contact again. Then on Tuesday, he must have known she was flying out of his base and turned up or bumped into her. I have no clue what happened. She told me a whole big story about having a coffee, told me her name, but she is like a line checker. to the way she was babbling, I knew it was Bo. She has told me she hasn't seen him, but I can't say I've been in your emails, as it will give up any future spying until I know for sure. She has already changed the password, so then she will want to know how I keep getting access, etc. I know I have enough already, but I want to get something on pilot to confirm for sure. For Pilot, because it will be the icing on the cake as it's happening right now, and he is being played too. He might be playing her, who knows? When her family or friends all know I bought her a proper engagement ring and she is off seeing a pilot at work. No one can say the past is the past. I've decided to go dark on her, no more confrontation at all. I've also decided to leave her 100. However, I'm possibly going to wait until January to do it, pending legal advice I get next week. 4 months left. Pilot is welcome to her. Otter has a few special days coming up, including a holiday, so I'm going to give her the best holiday, birthday, and Christmas. I broke down for the first time since my father died today, but not for fiancé, just realization that I will have to walk out on wee one. I had a long chat with my mom and my best friend today, and I have full support. Her father wants to pay for the wedding, and they have thought of that, but I can't do that. And this time, I will spend as much time as possible with daughter, preparing her for my departure. I think I know now how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to blow it up for the sake of daughter. I realize she is just holding on to get married, then probably leave within a year while playing a game with me. I know she doesn't care about me at all and wouldn't do this to me if she did. She honestly had me until she did that on Tuesday, and it's her loss big time. I hope he was worth it. She's just holding off for a big payday while she is stuck now, as you all have helped me see her for what she is. I tried getting in touch with the trainer, but might have messed up. Either way, I'll deny I got in contact, etc. We'll see what happens. This would be good to prove she was chilling with him in our apartment while I was paying his training fees, well before she found out about my little chat. She was out with family that night. I told her then that it was unacceptable, and to break up if that's what she was going to do. We've tried to keep seeing our friends and some sort of social life, but since we won, mine has just gone to hardly any. And yes, I agree, I've let her walk all over me. She is controlling, and I should have learned when we broke up, but I was a fool. I knew she was having a night out with friends. I never had a reason not to trust her. Ever. She gave me enough belief that I never had a reason to question. That wasn't for her doing the pictures in lingerie, then the texting while drunk beside me. I probably would still not know. Once I properly started looking, I found more and more and more. If I hadn't installed the keylogger, I wouldn't have known 90 of it. I messed up with the trainer. He wasn't the guy I texted, but I re-looked on Facebook and found another chat from years ago, where she admits going home with him and sleeping and then waking up in a rush to come in at 7 and 8. Something I went mental at the time, and she said she stayed at a friend's house. She's also meant to be my friend, and I openly asked her the next day, to which I got told she stayed over caught. Her friends have covered up for her and lied to me. I also have a feeling her mom knows and has been lying now. I haven't decided exactly when. January is just a latest date as I want to be with daughter for Christmas and New Year. I might not see her for some time. That is the kind of heartless woman she's going to be. I'll know more after appointment with Lair. A bit of an update. I wasn't going to, and I know I'm completely in the wrong. But I had to know for sure. This is like a television drama. I think I should write a novel. Fiancé went out tonight in her hometown with her mom and best friend and a few other friends. I started getting texts through saying, I love you so much. I want you, then I want to have fun with you. I was like, wow, I've not had texts like those in ages. I still had decided it was over, but I texted back and had some fun. Anyway, I had the burner phone with me, so I thought I'd send her a text like that in the form of the one-night stand she had in June. I have all the conversations. Well, I did. She replied and thought it was him. They carried on and got to the stage where she was wanting to meet up for some fun right there and then offered to go back to his with him or get a hotel, etc. I played it further and said, what would you do to me? I got the reply, put my lips right round your lipstick. She said, so now. I said, no, I have a better offer and we'll talk another time. She then came back with, I'm on top form tonight. I'll make it the best you know me. I'm not shy. I thought I could wait it out, but I can't after that. Thanks, everyone. You had her cards marked correctly. It's really gotten completely out of hand. I know, but I'm going for an early exit strategy once I have seen a lawyer. I have some very good advice from a friend who went through a split. Although they settled amicably and sees his kid 2 days a week. He says it was hard at first, but it's easier as time goes on. Fiancée came home in a very angry mood. Seemingly, she bumped into one night stand last night, but said he tried to come on to her and she said no. Facebook suggests otherwise, and because she thought I was him, she threw herself at him and he has turned around and said, you have embarrassed me, never speak to me ever again. Bye. He must think she is a random woman. I enjoyed that. Anyway, her mood is because she doesn't know who has texted her, and it's been going on all morning. She asked what I thought about him seeing her, and I said I got past it. As long as he or she wasn't trying to meet up for fun, I have no issue. Lied to me again, and I'm just going to play it out and keep winding for now. Most importantly, I've made an appointment with a lawyer and citizens advice. My friend said they are fantastic and full of useful info. Checked out paternity too. There is just checking normally or official legal through a lawyer, I would assume. Reason might do that, as if I go for full custody. It could be used in court if it goes that far. I am still thinking some sort of separation would be better and try to get on for the sake of my daughter. My comment, part 2 ending, is coming today as well. Give me some time because it's a good ending. Subscribe and bell and check out the other stories in the meantime.